I'm going to walk you guys through a very important function in this video, which is the date difference. And this is going to be part of the SQL date concept and functions video playlist. And so without any further ado, let's get to it. The date difference is a very important concept in all data analytical tools. Either you're using SQL tools or if you're using programming tool, it's very important to be able to know how to perform a query or a function to be able to get the difference between two dates in terms of years, months, days, etc. So in PostgreSQL, while on other tools, we're using a function called date difference or date diff. In PostgreSQL, we're using the function called age. So the age function is used to get the difference in terms of years, months, and days. I know the name is a little bit confusing because it says age, but yeah, it can be used to determine a person's age, but that's not it. You can use it to establish date differences between two date values. Either that is something you're using to determine an age or something that you would like to determine something else. So something very important is that while performing the age function, choose the method that best fits your need and the level of details that you want in the result. The age function can be more convenient for obtaining differences in years, months, and days, etc. But you can also use more like basic subtraction operator, which we'll talk about in this video. That's simpler, especially if you need to get differences in days. So without any further ado, that was just the background of it. Let's get to some example. I'm going to do two types of um, demos here. I'm going to do demo on more like I'm going to run a statement where I'm going to plug in two random values, and then I'm also going to use this table here, right, to perform date differences between these two established date type columns, the registration date converted and the comparison date. So these two. So let's get started. I'm going to start for the first one. Well, the way the H function is just like most other functions that we have so far covered. You're going to start with the select statement, and then you're going to follow it with the H function, right? And then you're going to now insert the value or the date value that you would like to uh, do you like to retrieve the date difference for, right? So the first one is going to be the endpoint, right, from which the other value subtracted. So the endpoint value in this case, let's say hypothetically, I can put 2023 and maybe 1111, right? And then something very important is that you'll have to cast this. So you'll have to cast this value as a date. Otherwise, what's going to happen is, SQL is not going to be able to perform, or attain the difference and the reason is that because it will know it as a string value, right? You're just plugging, a couple of integers here, 2023 dash 1111 1111. So SQL will kind of recognizes as an integer, rather than a date because it's just integer. And it also, since it's inside a single code, it will be a string variable, right? A string data type. So that's why it's important for you to cast a date type here so that you can specify that you're actually that this value here is actually a date, so the SQL also treats it as such, right? Let's now put the other this was the endpoint value. This is going to be the start point value, which hypothetically let's just put maybe 0505, right? And then same thing we're going to do here. We're going to cast the date type in here, just to make sure that SQL treats both of these values as data type, right? So now let's go ahead and run this. You're going to see that we're going to get the result, and we did. It's difference between 5/5/2023 and 11/11/2023 is 6 months and 6 days, right? So that was the first demo on how to perform date difference on random values that we insert, right? Now the second demo is going to involve the table here. As I said earlier, it has two columns for the dates, and what I would like to do is I would like to when I run the age or the date difference function, I would like to call in these two columns so I can get the result for these two. Let's go ahead and do that. So same thing, we're going to say select age, right? And then open the parentheses. Now we're going to put the just like we put here the endpoint date, we're going to do the endpoint date here. So we're going to, so this will be subtracted from it. We'll have to put the comparison date first. So we say comparison underscore date. That's the first column, right? And we don't have to specify it as a date, or we don't have to cast as a date because it's already a date column. It's already a date field, so we don't have to do that. Then comma, we're going to put the first point, which is going to be the rec the date converted, right? So we're saying get me the difference between this and that one, and then let's just go ahead and give it an alias and say uh, let's say calculated date difference, right? Something like that. And then also as the last thing to do is let's just call in the name of the table that this should fetch these two columns from, which is table master 2. And let's go ahead and run this, right? When we run it, you're going to see that these are the results. And if you wanted to have the other column side by side so you can look at them, you can just do that. Just bring the name, bring the rec, underscore date, and then bring the rec underscore date underscore converted, and then this. So let's go ahead and run it. You're going to see the entire table now. There you go. So now this the fourth column is added, which is a calculation of these. Oh, I guess I did not put the rec edit converted. Yes, I did not. So eh, rec. Uh, I guess I had rec date converted. No, I did not. So that would be, let me just run this one more time to make sure I'm not missing. So rag date and then, oh, comparison date. Okay, I forgot to put comparison date. So I have the right to convert and then need to put the comparison date. Where is it? Yeah, comparison underscore date, comma age. Okay, there you go. Now let's go ahead and run it. You're going to see all of the columns now. So name, rag date converted, comparison date, and calculated date. So the calculated date, again, is calculated between these two values in these two fields and I've given as a result. There you go. Now you probably say I don't need this combination of like numbers and letters, 53 years, 6 months, 11 days. That's detailed, but it's probably that's not what you're looking for because in analysis sometimes you just don't want to be dealing with a combination of numbers and letters. It makes it difficult. Maybe instead you want like standard days or months or number of years, something like that, right? So you can also do that. So we can use extract and then use the h, so we can use the h to for h in combination with extract. So let's go ahead and do that. Select extract. So extract, what it does is it's going to extract the value, the parameter that we were given it, right? And then based off of that parameter we're going to perform the difference. So the difference calculation. So from, and then say we see age. So we're saying extract a year from uh, extract the year from the difference that I'm about to perform, right? So in this case, let's say I'm going to say comparison. I'm going to put the last one first, right? Comparison underscore date and then drag date converted, right? And then make sure I have two parentheses here because I opened one parenthesis here, another one here. I have to have two parentheses, and then let's just give it the alias calculated, uh, let's say years, right? Then lastly, let's just specify the name of the table. Let's go ahead and run it, and this should give us the number of years. There you go. So now we have the number of year difference instead of having, this kind of difference, with the letters and everything else, 50 years, 3 years, 6 months, 11 days. And so we just want to like solely get the number of years, right? So if you were to bring these columns next to these, you're going to see that, one second, you're going to see now that, there you go, that this is actually calculation of years between these two columns. So you can change this further to this part of the age difference to for year to month to day to week, anything you want. And once you extract it, what it does is the logic is extracts it, then it performs a difference on it. So and so the age function is convenient for obtaining differences in years, months, and days, while the subtraction operator is simpler and also another feasible method for you to apply if you only need the difference in days. So let's now use the comparison using let's now do the date difference using the excuse me, using the subtraction operator. So with the subtraction operator is going to be a select and then comparison date, right? The end date, and then put the subtraction operator, which is the minus sign, right? And then rect date converted, right? And then lastly, let's just give it an alias, maybe this time call it calculated with uh, with what with operator, right? And then lastly, let's just call in the table name that we need to perform this on and run it. Oops, there must be a mistake. I think I made a mistake with the name of the column here, comparison date. Let's go run it again. There you go. So now, as you can see, as I said, that each function is convenient to obtain the differences in years, months, and days, but you can also do subtraction operator, to get if you really need to get the differences in days. So, and it's much simpler. So this is the difference in days. And a lot of times in analyses, when you're performing let's say metrics and date differences, you mostly rely on difference in days rather than getting like a combination of letters and 5 years, 6 months, 12 days, 15 hours, something like that. So that's that. You can also in case you can also cast the integer. You can also cast the integer argument if you, let's say, if this fails for you, you can also do comparison date and then minus the rec date converted, right? And then you can also pass the integer, right? I'm not sure if this will work with PostgreSQL or not, but let's check it out. It works with Microsoft SQL Server. Let's see. There you go. It also works with this. So in both cases, yep, in both cases we're gonna get the date differences. Although the only difference is that when we cast the integer type here, right? Any date that has the points will be removed and changed to integer. So when we say integer, we mean we're getting a value that has no decimal points. So you can also use it, in case you're performing date differences here. So for example, if you're, I don't know what we got for this. Let me run this one more time. Yeah, 6 months, 6 days. Let's say if we can pass an integer value here, see if we can get an integer. Uh, if we pass the integer cast here, let's see. Okay, it's not working for this because we're dealing with let me see the date. I got the select. Oh, yeah. Let me just bring this down here. Copy it and bring it down here. The only difference is that I use the 8, so I was supposed to use the minus for the two dates when they are, when we assign the random values. And let's check it now. Oops, forgot to put there you go. So in this case as well, although we got when we run this without the integer with the age, we got the difference in terms of months, which was 6 months and 66 days. But then when we run it with the subtraction operator and we pass the integer here, we got it as 190 days. So which translates to 6 months and 6 days between these two dates. Yep. All right. I think this is it for this video. I think I covered a lot. This is a good beginning if you're looking into doing the very simple extracting doing the very simple date difference function to extract differences between two date value points. This is it. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you guys in the next video.